finally got my hands on an Extrema Ratio Selvans. Good morning and welcome back, and as you can probably tell from the title, I've got a new knife. I've finally got my hands on an Extrema Ratio Selvans, and I've been after one of these for a while. The cost has put me off, but I have finally got one. Now, I'll talk about the sheath later. I like this thing. I haven't even used it yet. It's brand spanking new, never been used. I'm going to attempt to get a fire going with this and a form of ignition. Now it has got a scraping edge for a ferro rod, but I don't know actually how good it is. So let's just say if I don't use the ferro rod, if it's not very good on it, I will use either a match or a lighter. First thing, I need some tinder and I need some kindling. Now I dragged a downed dead standing to camp, and I'm going to section that up first by chopping. And if you know anything about this knife, you know it's a dual grip, so you're gripping up there for the fine stuff and you're gripping down there for chopping. Right then, let's get at it. Another thing I have got a piece of spruce here which I'm going to make feather sticks with, because I think it's only fair I try it on something good as well. Not bad. Doesn't chop as well as a modern Bowie mine, but it does chop better than an A1X. I'll give it that. My problem today is my hands are really cold. I'm going to cut a few more off now. Well, it's pretty good as a battner. Chopping, it's okay. It's better than most, but not as good as some. It's a fair bit of splitting done. Need to split them a bit smaller now. Now, this wood isn't very good. Not making excuses, I'm just saying it'll burn just fine. It is dry, but by the looks of it, I couldn't tell from the bark, but looks of the grain, I think it's ash, and I don't find that ash makes very good feather sticks, but I'll give it a go. I'm going to use a piece of spruce anyway, but I want to give it a go. That'll ignite, but every other shave I'm doing, I'm not getting anything off. Well, I'm not going to get Scandi grind grade feather sticks out of this, and that's a fact. Let's try something else. Well, I'll tell you what, that is now blunt. That is blunt. I can run my thumb over it. That is really disappointing. Not impressed with that at all. Now, I'm not a fan of these stones. Putting a good edge on anything. This is the DC4, but looks like I'm going to have to do a bit of work on this. Well. marginally better, but I tell you what, I'm going to put it away. That needs to go on the Ken Onion grinder or on the stones at home. Luckily for me, although I do have my FTP with me, I got another new knife, and this is the Castrom Falt Folder Baraloka. If you watch my channel, you know I reviewed the slip joint the other day. Well, the slip joint had to go back, but I bought one of these. Right then, I've been to get some dry twigs because I'm not actually confident that what I've split and gathered here with this knife is actually going to light the fire without twigs. Very disappointing. Right, let's try this scraping surface then. See if I can get fairer out of light. As you can see, that's a pretty good feather stick I made with the folder. To be fair, the scraper wasn't too bad at all, so I won't grumble about that. Yeah, it took a few, but at the end of the day you've got to get the paint off it anyway. Well, that's more or less lit now. I'm just going to feed it up. There we are, that's lit, it's not going anywhere. Now you may think this is an exercise in futility and that I could have just gathered twigs, but I want to use the knife to replicate the worst conditions, so everything's soaking wet and you need to use your knife to process wood and to make your tinder and to make your kindling. As for the chopper, it's pretty good. Shaving wise, the edge just lost it. So I'm going to put a convex edge on that with the Ken Onion grinder and use it again. Do it all knife? I don't think so. More of a heavy duty knife. Right, I've got to have some tea. It's a big old thing for using with a ferro rod. Not ideal, considering these aren't particularly brilliant. And mallet did okay. Well, that's its first outing over with. And to be honest with you, I'm a bit disappointed, as you probably gathered already. It's got its good points and it's got its bad points. Number one, it went blunt really quickly. I wasn't expecting that. This steel's got good reports. N690, and I was actually thinking of buying some and making a few knives out of it. But I'm not going to. I can't believe how blunt it went and how quick it went. I tried shaving with that tip on the log and pushing down. I couldn't even get a shaving out of it. I got about three crap ones. So if you're thinking about shaving with that, don't bother. As a chopper, it's fine, and I really like this dual grip. The handle is very comfortable. Now it looks like cheap plastic, hard plastic, but it's not. It's pretty good stuff. I like it. It's quite grippy, and the handle is comfortable. This, I like the idea of this. I was wondering at first what that was for, but basically, when you're battening, a lot of the time, that happens. Well, you can hit on there without damaging the handle, so that's a good idea. The scraper, it works, not particularly well, but it does work. But what I find, if you're putting the knife on the material and scraping it, it's got such a distance for that spark to fall. No, it's not very good. I'm sure it would like cotton wool or some really fluffed up tinder quite easily. But I did explain earlier, I like to look at a worst case scenario where you've got to cut your wood down and prep it all. Well, it doesn't do it very well. I don't know what the hole's for, haven't got a clue. Pretty pointless really. This does need to go on the Ken Onion gadget, and I'm going to put a nice convex mirror polish on it and use it again. I genuinely like the knife. I like what it does. It's just that edge has really left it down. It's a cracking battener, works fine. The timber I've used is ash, which is reasonably hard and it's seasoned. But when you think about it, you could probably use a Scandi grind knife or, you know, a small convex knife and do exactly the same. Apart from the chopping, you could do exactly the same with that as with this. Yes, I did just say one good point, and that was this thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. Coatings, I detest. There we are, I just don't like them. But I'm assuming it's meant to be a military survival knife. It needs to be paired up with a smaller knife. Chopping is a complete waste of time, we all know that. Get a saw. Just get a saw. The sheath. I like the sheath. It's pretty sturdy. I did attempt to put a Max P pouch on there, but these are on so tight I couldn't get it on without actually using a pliers and damaging the molle, so I didn't bother putting it on. It does come with a leg strap, but I don't particularly want to look like Han Solo, so I took it off. One thing I don't understand is this business. You can't actually get the belt loop off. You've got to take... No, the belt loop just won't come off. I'm looking at it now. So what's the point in that? They might as well have just sewn it on or riveted it on. Sturdy sheath. If you like a leg strapped dangler, well, it's lovely. Molle on the back. I think the way to go is probably to put it on your pack. Yeah, nice sheath. I don't know how long it's going to last, but there, with putting the knife in and out, there's a good chance it's going to cut it. I would have liked to have seen a bit of plastic coming over there to stop that happening. But sturdy, knife's never going to cut through it, especially with that blunt edge. Well, I will be using it again after it's been sharpened. I'll give you my opinion on it again next time. If you're looking for a do-everything knife, it's not this. In fact, don't even look for a do-everything knife, because it's just not going to happen. When you think about it, for the price of this, and this was expensive, over £450 in the UK, you could get yourself a Castrum Woodsman, a really nice silky saw, a nice folder, a Swiss Army knife, Grand Sforce axe. You could basically kit yourself out with decent tools for the price of this. And I'm not talking about cheap tools, I'm talking about decent tools. Yes, she will return. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember that thumbs up, it's always appreciated. Ta-ra. Not long, it's not called a jet boil for nothing. It is actually boiling, and it's been 2 minutes. In the time I've spoken to you, that's boiled. Ah! Jet boiling over.